Dear friends, the story I'm about to tell you is 100% true. I lived through it, I cried because of it, and I learned the most expensive lesson of my life from it. If you're in a relationship and you feel like something isn't right, listen to my story. Maybe it will help you avoid what I went through. My name is Brittany Khan. I'm 26 years old. I work as a bartender in Houston, Texas. Every day I stand behind the bar from afternoon until late at night. I make drinks, I serve customers. The salary isn't great, but it's enough to live on and save a little. I'm a lesbian, I love women, and I'm not ashamed of that at all. God made me this way. I accept who I am. My life was pretty peaceful until I met Mindy. I met Mindy over a year ago. At first we were just friends. We went out together a lot, to dinner, to bars, to clubs. We spent a lot of time together, and gradually feelings developed. We fell in love, things got serious, we moved in together. I loved Mindy very much, and I believed she loved me too. When we were together, anyone could see how much we cared for each other. But Mindy didn't have a job. She said she was looking, but she couldn't find one. So I took care of almost everything. The rent I paid it, the car I paid for it, the daily expenses I paid for them. And Mindy stayed home. She cooked, she cleaned, she took care of the housework. I never complained because I thought that's what love is. I thought we were building a life together. I thought that one day when she found a job, things would be more balanced. 14 months. 14 months I supported her completely. I gave her everything I could, everything I had. But recently I started to feel like something wasn't right. The first thing that bothered me, every time we went out, Mindy would look at other people. Not just women, she looked at men too. Long glances, fleeting smiles. That made me feel uneasy. Suspicions started to grow. The second thing, Mindy looked at her watch a lot. She didn't have a job, she didn't have a car, she didn't have many friends I didn't know. Her friends were my friends too, and yet she constantly checked her watch. Why does she have somewhere to go? Does she have someone to call? Does she have something to do? These questions kept spinning in my mind without stopping. If Mindy was cheating on me, I wasn't sure what I would do. I gave her everything I could, everything I had. I didn't understand why she would betray me, but I needed to find out the truth. I decided to call the show Cheaters. Do you know this show? It's a television program that specializes in investigating infidelity. They have a team of professional detectives. They have hidden cameras. They help you find the truth. I used to watch this show. I thought how hard it must be for those people. I never thought I would be one of them. The Cheaters team invited me to meet with them. They listened to my story. Knowing that Mindy didn't work and stayed home all day, they had an idea. They proposed installing a hidden camera in the apartment. I agreed immediately. I brought the camera home. I installed it without Mindy knowing. Then I waited. Investigation day number 5. That morning I kissed Mindy goodbye, like usual. Then I left for work, but before I could drive out of the parking lot, the investigation team noticed something. A suspicious man was walking through the parking lot. He went straight into my apartment. The apartment where Mindy was staying, the apartment I was paying rent for every month. The hidden camera in the house recorded everything. The unknown man walked right in. He got on the bed. He made himself comfortable like he was at his own home. The Cheaters team witnessed what happened. The two answered the call of nature. After he got what he wanted, the man quickly got dressed and left immediately. Investigation day number 8, the Cheaters team located the couple at a local supermarket. While I was at work earning money, Mindy was out with her boyfriend. The man was identified. His name was Paul Armstrong. The two were seen laughing and smiling as they entered the supermarket. Inside, they were touching each other, admiring each other. They were distracted from their purpose. Mindy and Paul returned to the apartment. But something caught the Cheaters team's attention. They completely forgot to bring the groceries inside. It was clear they had something else on their minds. Mindy went straight to the bedroom. Paul entered the room. He immediately complied with her demands. After a short round in bed, he put his clothes back on and quickly left the apartment. Investigation day number 13, the last day of investigation. The Cheetahs team waited again at the apartment. Right on cue, Paul Armstrong made his appearance. He crossed the parking lot. He went straight into Mindy's apartment. They also recorded a phone call between Mindy and Paul. The content of the call made me unable to believe my ears. Sweet words, planned meetings, words of love that should have been said only to me. The Cheetahs team had seen enough. It was time for me to be informed about everything. After all the footage was carefully reviewed, the Cheetahs team approached me. They told me everything about the affair. Tired of being kept in the dark, I gathered courage. I remained determined in my search for the truth. Joey Greco, the host of the show Cheetahs, told me that evening, "Brittany, thank you for coming out tonight. I know the last couple of months have been very challenging for you. We do have some information that I think will really clear up the questions in your mind." I nodded. My heart was pounding in my chest. Joey continued, "Knowing that Mindy didn't have a job, we thought one of the most logical places to start would be where you live. That's when we had to place the hidden camera inside." He pointed at the screen. He started showing me the footage. "And there you are leaving for work. Before you even get in your car, you can see an unknown gentleman skulking across the parking lot. He goes into your apartment, and it's not long before—" Joey looked at me with compassion. "I'm sorry, but it doesn't take long before we get an idea of what's going on. It's like they don't even have any conversations. There's only one thing she's got on her mind." I felt sick to my stomach watching those images. Joey continued showing me the next footage. "On this day in the investigation, you can see they're in public now. They head into that grocery store. When you look at this, I know how deceptive she's being. I saw Mindy and Paul holding hands. They were laughing in the supermarket, like a happy couple. They go back to the apartment that you're paying for," Joey continued. "Oh my God," I exclaimed. "On this day, detectives again saw the same guy going back to your place." I looked at those images. I felt like I wanted to vomit. "It's sickening," I said. Joey looked at me and asked, "Would you like to confront Mindy?" "Yeah," I answered immediately. I would love to confront Mindy. We know that this evening they're together. Joey's phone rang. He answered and then turned to me. "They're at a park. They're sitting down making out on the bench." "How romantic," I said sarcastically. I was trying to control the fury boiling inside me. "Okay, one of the detectives is going to come by and lead us to them. It's complicated, but we're not far. Let's go." I got in the car. We arrived at the park. It had gotten dark. A detective walked ahead to guide us. "The bridge is right down there. Walk down this path and you'll see them. I'm gonna lead you through it. Just watch the flashlight." I followed him. My heart was pounding like a drum in my chest. "All right, watch your step over here," the detective warned me. And then I saw them, Mindy and Paul, sitting on a bench by the lake, kissing like there was no one around. 14 months. 14 months I loved her, I supported her, I gave her everything. And she was sitting here kissing another man. What the hell is going on here? My voice rang out in the quiet night. It shattered the peace of the park. Mindy and Paul turned around startled. Their faces went pale when they saw me. Joey stepped forward and said, "Mindy, I'm Joey Greco with Cheetahs. Can you tell Brittany what you're doing here?" Mindy jumped to her feet. Her face was white as a sheet. She couldn't say anything. She and Paul started to walk away. They were trying to avoid the situation, like guilty people. "Where are you guys going?" "Hey, hey, hey, come on!" I shouted and ran after them. "Where the hell is he?" "This is Mindy's girlfriend right here." Paul turned to look at me. His face was confused, like he didn't understand what was happening. "Shut up," Mindy shouted at me. "Shut up. Do you know what you're doing?" I screamed in her face. "What are you doing with her?" "That's my girlfriend." I turned to Paul. My face was red with anger. How long have you been seeing her? What's your name? How long have you been seeing her? Paul stammered a response. She said she's living with Brittany. I thought it was a roommate. Roommate? I couldn't believe my ears. She was telling you I was her roommate. I turned to Mindy. My eyes were shooting sparks. I'm your roommate? I'm just your roommate. Paul looked at Mindy. His face changed as he started to understand what was happening. She is your roommate, but she's also… What? She's my lover for the last 14 months. I screamed. 14 months. Do you understand? Paul stood there like a statue. His face went pale. She's been your lover for the last 14 months. That's right. Believe it. Mindy started to cry. Tears were streaming down her cheeks. She tried to explain. I didn't want you to know because I've never been with a man before. That's the truth. You could have told me. I screamed. I can't believe you would do something like that. Shut up, Mindy shouted back. You're telling me to shut up. I stepped closer to her. The fury inside me exploded without control. Just get out of my face. Everything became chaotic. Mindy and I were fighting violently. Paul stood there not knowing what to do. Calm down, someone from the Cheetahs team said. Calm down. No, I can't calm down. I looked at Mindy, the person I had loved, the person I had supported, the person I had given everything to. I gave you everything. Everything. And what did you do to me? Joey went to talk separately with Paul. Paul said with a confused expression, I didn't expect all this to happen tonight. I'm sorry. What the hell? I didn't either. You should have been truthful to her from the beginning, Joey said. How long have you been together? We just met recently. Stay here. Don't go anywhere. Joey told Paul and came back to me. We just need to talk a little more, Joey told me. I stood there, watching Mindy crying with sobs. I'm sorry, Mindy said through her tears. Never again. I promise. I shook my head. I didn't want to hear anything more. Brittany! Mindy stepped closer. She tried to take my hand. I've never been with a woman before, and she tried to explain. You don't know that, I interrupted her. The only person you were thinking about was yourself. You just wanted to make sure you were taken care of. You got Mindy to take care of you, then Mindy needs a man, so you go get a man. I looked her straight in the eyes. My voice was cold as ice. You know what? You all deserve each other. You all have a good life together. Because I'm done. Mindy cried harder. She tried to stop me. No, I'm done. I'm done. I turned to Paul. She needs to get the hell out of my life. I turned around and walked away without looking back. Mindy was still crying, still calling my name, but I didn't turn around. 14 months I loved her, I supported her, I gave her everything, and she repaid me by telling another man I was just her roommate. I walked out of the park into the dark night without looking back even once. Paul ran after me. He seemed like he wanted to say something. Watch yourself, I warned him. Look around. Cameras are rolling. Then I got in the car and left, leaving Mindy and Paul in the park. After that tense confrontation, I went through several emotional stages. Anger was the most obvious emotion, but there was also pain, disappointment, and a big emptiness in my heart. I couldn't help but think that I would never find the girl of my dreams, but then I told myself that only cowards give up. I believe that one day a beautiful princess will come into my life, someone who truly loves me, someone who values what I offer. I also want to say something about my lifestyle choice. God decided that I'm attracted to women. People need to understand that as a lesbian, I don't have any choice concerning sexual preferences. So I cannot and will not ever be ashamed of who I am. And Mindy said that she'll no longer have intimate relations with other females. She said it was merely a confusing stage in her life. And she did indeed learn a great deal from it. But Mindy failed to mention that she was sorry about hurting me. She said that her love for Paul Armstrong is authentic, and that the two may one day pay a visit to the altar. And Paul Armstrong, Paul was quite perturbed when contacted by Cheetah's producers afterwards. He said that Brittany was completely out of control during the confrontation. Paul said that getting attacked and thrown into the water by an angry girl was completely avoidable. He strongly suggested that in the future the security staff should take a more attentive posture during turbulent altercations. You asked me what I learned from this story first. Never give everything to someone who isn't ready to give back. 14 months I supported Mindy. I paid the rent. I paid for the car. I took care of everything. And her, she brought another man into my bed as soon as I walked out the door. Second, trust your intuition. I saw the signs, the glances, the constant checking of the watch, but I tried to ignore them. I tried to believe I was overthinking. If I had listened to my intuition earlier, maybe I wouldn't have been hurt so much. Third, self-respect is more important than any relationship. I gave up Mindy not because I didn't love her anymore, but because I love myself more. I don't deserve to be treated like that. No one does. Fourth, be yourself and don't be ashamed. I'm a lesbian. That's who I am. I didn't choose this. And I'm not ashamed of it. Mindy can say it was just a confusing stage for her. But for me, this is my true identity. If you're in a relationship where you give everything but receive nothing in return, stop. If you have suspicions about your partner, listen to your instincts. And if you discover you've been betrayed, have the courage to walk away. I lost 14 months and a lot of money, but I gained back something much more important, my self-respect, and the belief that one day I will find someone who deserves my love. Thank you for listening to my story. I'm Brittany Khan, 26 years old, a bartender from Houston, Texas, and I will never be ashamed of who I am.